Eli has always shared a deep connection with his grandfather, a source of strength and calm that never wavered. Today, though, there's a subtle shift in Eli's demeanour. Today is different. For the first time, his grandfather, sensing something unspoken in Eli's heart, decided to take him to the lighthouse, a refuge he rarely shared with anyone. The full moon casts an eerie glow through the dense woods as the car's headlights cut through the fog. In the passenger seat, Eli watches the world slip by. There's a sense of something both foreboding and oddly comforting in the air. Then, a sound, a strange, unsettling noise, breaks the silence. His grandfather's hands tighten on the wheel as he slows the car to a stop. Outside the car, the forest feels alive, pulsing with an energy Eli can't explain. He strains his ears, hearing the faintest whisper of a flute floating on the wind. It's distant, but the melody seems to call to him. They both know something strange stirs in the dark. Every step they take feels like an intrusion, as if they are disturbing something that has waited for centuries in silence on a world that has long been forgotten. The air is thick with mystery, every rustle, every snap of a twig heightening the tension. Eli feels a strange sensation, as if the forest itself is watching them. The ground beneath his feet feels old, as if this place holds memories long buried. Eli shivers, and for the first time, he feels like a visitor in a world that doesn't want him here. As they venture deeper, Eli's imagination runs wild. The gnarled roots of the trees twist up from the earth, and for a moment he swears they look like the bones of ancient creatures, fossilized in time. This land has not forgotten. The forest feels alive, watching them with eyes they cannot see. Every step echoes in the stillness, but something doesn't feel right. The ground beneath their feet seems to pulse with ancient power, warning them. One thing is sure, they are not welcome here. And then they find it. The flute rests against the log, half buried as though placed there by fate itself. Its weathered wood stands out against the earth, the sharp, intricate carving still clear despite the passing years. There's a pull, a connection, something forgotten, something lost to time. This is no ordinary object. It is a key to a past long buried. In the lighthouse home, the grandfather has crafted a sanctuary for Eli, even though someone is missing. But beneath the comforting walls of the lighthouse home, something stirs. The lighthouse, standing solitary against the vast and unending sea, is more than just a shelter. It is a keeper of ancient secrets, a silent witness to the tides and storms that have shaped the land for centuries. And it knows that some forces, once stirred, cannot be contained. Eli digs through boxes, searching for remnants of his childhood, his eyes lighting up as he unearths treasures from the past. But in the stillness of the room, the flute only dreams, its presence quietly commanding, as if it knows that its true song will not be played by just anyone. It will be played by the one who truly listens, who understands the depths of its call. It has seen seasons change, lives rise and fall, and yet it remains, waiting for the right moment to share its secrets. Eli's youthful curiosity scattering things across the wooden floor. Amidst the clutter, an old painting of Native Americans on horseback stands out, depicting them riding across a vast open plain. The wind seems to move through the painted landscape, as if it carries the whispers of a forgotten past. These were the people who once roamed these woods. their presence etched into the land. Though time has passed, something remains, waiting, watching. The lighthouse stands unyielding, its light slicing through the dark, silently watching the chaos unfold.
Run! No!
Silence follows, but it is not peace. The lighthouse remains, as it always has. On the other side of the lighthouse, the sea rages as if in a parallel world, waiting for something to rise. This is not just a storm, it is something else. Perhaps the flute had called it, or perhaps it was always waiting. Eli stands in the shadow of the lighthouse listening. His grandfather had left moments ago, drawn by the distant echoes of gunshots and screams coming from the woods. The wind is still, the air is heavy, charged. Then he hears it. Footsteps, heavy and deliberate, coming from the lake. Eli can feel it. Something big is coming, something unstoppable. And the footsteps grow louder, closer. Eli opens the back door and then he sees it. From the lake emerges something massive, a creature. Eli stands motionless. The silence between them feels like a shared understanding, but of what he cannot say. His pulse races, a wild drumbeat in his ears, drowning out everything else. The weight of its gaze presses down on him, but there is no movement, no indication of intention. It's as if the creature knows him, knows this moment, knows everything he fears. The air hums with something that isn't quite sound, but something far deeper, something that connects them in a way Eli is too terrified to understand. The creature steps now closer. Eli's heart races, and in that moment he feels time stretch, and yet it doesn't strike. Not yet. It's watching. It feels as though the creature is waiting for something for him to understand. And in that moment, Eli feels it. This is not just a monster. It's the reckoning. An ancient force standing at the edge of Eli's world, watching him. Eli stands silently, watching as the figure retreats into the fog. What was once a monstrous shape now appears as a young Native American man. He doesn't look back at Eli, his figure slowly swallowed by the thickening mist that clings to the woods. "I came to see if you would understand," his voice drifts back. Eli stands motionless, feeling the weight of the words in his chest, though their meaning is still elusive. The creature is gone, and in its place, the land has claimed its guardian. Eli remains, sensing the weight of what has just passed. A quiet, unspoken understanding that the balance of things doesn't always need to be seen, only felt. A silent acknowledgement of Eli's purity, of his heart unchanged by fear. The monster is no longer needed. Eli's innocence has shifted the course of things, leaving only the sound of the wind. Eli feels the weight of his journey, the monster's presence, his grandfather's love, and his personal grief. The purity of Eli, his unwavering belief in the good, has changed the course of things. The totem stands tall and unyielding. Its carved faces are at peace now, and the sun rises, bringing light to a new day, a new understanding.
In our next episode, torn between destiny and freedom, Aiko faces an ancient force that has waited for her return. Will she embrace her fate or walk away from what she cannot ignore? The path ahead is uncertain, but the time has come. Stay tuned.